Hey everyone and welcome back. So today I'm talking about another game announcement coming to the Nintendo Switch, and this time it's the remake of an NES classic, which is Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Now the good news here is that if you're not familiar with the original game, it's actually available on the Nintendo Switch Online service, so you can always give it a try to sort of gauge your interest in this remake. But in a nutshell, the original was a 2D action platformer where, surprise, surprise, you're playing as a pair of ninjas. And I would say one of its most defining features is that this was a two-player co-op game. It was sort of like a ninja version of Contra. I'm not necessarily directly comparing the gameplay to the iconic Contra series. However, back in the day, when you wanted to play in couch co-op with a friend on your NES, this was often one of the first choice games. And another really standout feature from the original game was a really great soundtrack. And if we look at the entirety of the NES library, it is one of the games that has aged fairly well, still being a fun, quick playthrough today. So now enough about the original, fast forward to the remake. Now probably the first thing that will jump right out at you are the visuals, because it's been seriously upgraded, no longer basing itself on an 8-bit style, but rather a 16-bit art style. And I think that was a smart move because the 16-bit art style will allow you to get much better animations and add some more personality to the characters. And our duo of male and female ninja protagonists have just never looked better. Now on top of the trailer, I'm also going to be posting a few additional screenshots that have been released for the game because I think they give a much better look at the overall art style. Now, once that visual art style actually gripped me and got me interested in looking deeper into this game, you know what? There's some more good news because it's being developed by a team that has delivered some great projects in the past. And it was also the arcade remake of another great retro game, the Ninja Savior's Return of the Warriors. And that game is still today among some of my favorite beat-em-ups on the Nintendo Switch, meaning that I have very high hopes for this remake as well. Now they're supposed to be faithfully recreating the 5 stages from the original game, but also adding in a 6th brand new stage. Now the soundtrack that was already iconic is supposed to be fully revamped as well by 2 legendary composers. Now I'm probably gonna destroy their names, but it is Hiroshi Iwatsuki and Iku Mizutani, who are promising electrifying guitar riffs, however with that retro heart. Now gameplay-wise, where they're expanding a bit here as well is they're adding new weaponry for our characters. The original game, if I'm not mistaken, had only 3 different kinds of weaponry. This one is supposed to have more than that, however they haven't specified exactly how many that is. Lastly, and probably what is most important for this release, is they promise to have put a lot of attention into the 2-player local co-op mode, promising to upgrade the cooperative gameplay dynamics and refine the different character interactions. Now at this point, I was already seriously interested in this game, which by the way, the release is slated for summer 2024, but there's another bit of really good news that was announced. The game is supposed to be getting a physical release as well. Now the physical release is being handled by Strictly Limited Games, which is offering a standard but also a collector's edition release for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5. Now the standard release is pre-ordering at $29.99 and will be limited to only 3,500 copies worldwide. But what I was super glad to see is that even the standard release of the game comes with, guess what? A manual in the box. Yes, a retro game with a manual. Who would have thought that was a good idea? And I'm really glad to see that they actually included it with the standard release, not only the collector's version. That little bit of extra attention really goes a long way. Now if we take a look at the collector's edition, now that one's being sold for $69.99. And what you're getting in addition to the game and the manual is a collector's edition box. You're also getting a coin with one of the heroes on each face. You're getting a reversible desk pad once again with one hero on each side. You're getting a poster, a sticker sheet, but I would say 2 of the main attractions here are going to be a controller holder with the 2 heroes as standees in the back, but also the original soundtrack on CD. Now it does feel a little bit pricey, but I think if you're really into this release, it is nonetheless some decent value. You are getting a lot of stuff here. So you know what? Once again, I think we're shaping up to have another really solid and fun release for the Nintendo Switch. Now I know it's not a huge AAA game, but I think it's a really interesting remake of a classic game that a lot of people have some nostalgia for. And I'm going to say it once again, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but 2024 is once again shaping up to have some really interesting releases for what could possibly be the last year of the original Nintendo Switch. So now I want to hear from all of you. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this release? Are you maybe even going to pre-order a physical version of it? Or am I maybe one of the only people that remembers the original game and had fun playing it as a kid? Either way, don't forget, on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and as usual, I hope I'll see all of you in my next video.